Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossbow Carol. I'm sure you're looking at this and thinking, wow James, that's a short episode. Well, that's true guys, that is true, but if you look before the video, not before it, before I start speaking though, you'll see that in fact it took me a lot of recording time to get this very short video. And by the time I'd reached this point, I thought, my god, I don't want to record anymore. As I'm sure you can already guess, we're doing post audio here. It seemed foolish to try and do live commentary while also doing this fight, not because I can't concentrate on both things at once, but because this commentary would be terrible. It would just be me saying, God damn it, and the words whore, and fuck, and shit, and bullbag. A whole lot more than you're probably going to hear in this episode. Now, up until this point, you probably will have noticed in the short death montage and the quick fight we had at the end of the last episode that I'd been going for Ornstein, thinking, yeah, take out Ornstein. As usual, you know that's what most people go for. Because Giant Smough is easier to deal with than Giant Ornstein, because he doesn't have that cheap fucking grapple attack that has fucked me in the arse a number of times before. But not only that, Giant Small Smough is actually easier to kill with certain attack types than Ornstein, and thrust attack types happen to be one of those, which is why the Crossbow is doing a pretty decent bit of damage to him. We're still at a plus 10, nothing's changed there. Now, I did try two-handing for a while, but two-handing doesn't actually do any more damage. It just sort of centralizes your aim. So if you're having trouble because your character keeps shooting off to the side, as mine does frequently, the dear Carol, as perfect as she is, she can't handle her crossbow that well. So, but yeah, it increases the reload time and the firing time as well. From what I could gather, anyway, I didn't time it. I just experimented a bit. It's really off topic. That was supposed to be a very short conversation. So yeah, we're going for Smough this time. Then we're going to fight Giant Ornstein. But I'm being a little untruthful, saying that it's because we can do more damage. It is because I knew I could cheese Giant Ornstein. He has a pretty big problem if you fight him with ranged attacks, in that he gets stuck into an infinite loop of the same move, basically. I mean, if you're unlucky, he might come after you briefly, but as soon as you get some distance on him again, he'll leave you alone. It's kind of him, and kinda stupid of him, but that's it. So, this fight, the difficult part, was always going to be this first part. It almost always is this first part if you're on your own. Fighting the giant one, you can take your time a bit more. It's still a bit rushed. But, you know, I mean, it makes the whole world of difference when you've only got to fight one person rather than the other. Now, the other reason I was having such extra special trouble with this fight is because I had to be locked on. I couldn't just sort of free aim at them, or I could, but it would have been terrible. So, okay, I mean, I chose not to free aim, but for a good reason. So we have to lock on, which means we have to stop, we have to wait for the reload time. It is what I would consider this more difficult than doing a straight up melee fight. You might disagree. I don't know, would you disagree with me? Look at this! That should have hit. Luckily I survived. Boom, he's down for the first time, and at this point you've got to think, well, it's all over. They think it's all over. Well, that is correct. It is basically all over. You're going to see what I mean by cheesing him. If you haven't seen this before, you know, after the cutscene, of course. So the problem with post-commentary, I get ahead of myself, and I talk incessantly. Like that? It's a brief pause. It's a professional pause. That wasn't radio silence. It's not what it is. Sneak. Sneak tried to do his teleport attack on me. Doesn't usually do it. You can now see what I mean by cheese. He's going to come after me at this point. And again. The normal way you'd want to fight Giant Ornstein is just to stick under his legs. But if you can do it ranged like this, then you want to get distance on him. Get a pillar between you because his attack, because it's so large, actually, it will pretty much always go to the pillar and you can shoot above it or to the side of it. Free aim with a regular bow, or like this with a crossbow. And I begin to think that I should have fast forwarded this, but you get to see the two-handed versus one-handed thing. Actually, the damage seems to fluctuate quite a bit depending on where you hit him. But the fact remains true. In fact, one-handed then was doing more. There we go, same. Getting way too caught up on that. This is it, you see. It goes from being one of the hardest boss fights in the game to the easiest. This is easier than not Nito! Not Nito! It is easier than Nito! That's not what I was thinking of. This is easier than Pinwheel. At the moment, I sit there and press R1 every now and again, and we see the cumulative damage racking up. He's got a decent bit of health. And he's dead. So, not only do we get the Leo Ring and the satisfaction of killing Giant Ornstein, which is always satisfying, but we can also get Ornstein's armor. The only bad thing about this whole fight, this whole boss fight thing, has been that the last death you saw me take, I didn't manage to get my souls. I died too quickly, which means I lost the humanity. The humanity we've had since the very first episode is no more. I mean, we do have a nice stockpile in our inventory, but it's not the same. It's pretty sad. Look, it's Guinevere. Illusion Guinevere. She's gonna talk over me. I'm gonna talk over you. Fuck you. I won't.
O chosen undead, I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight. Since the day Father his form did obscureth, I have a...
Oh, you've heard it all before! I don't know why I decided to do this. Why wouldn't I skip through her dialogue? That doesn't make any sense. Right, we get the Lord Vessel, we can finally warp around. That's gonna be good. To be honest with you, I think the next lot of stuff we're gonna do, we're gonna go down to the catacombs and we're gonna fight Pinwheel to get the Rite of Kindling. I have been and done a check, and the Divine Crossbow will keep the skeletons down, although it doesn't do very good damage. But I did after this episode get as much green titanite as I could, so the Divine Crossbow is now +5. After that, it's going to be the 4 Kings. Tune in next time, guys, for a full-length episode, maybe even longer than usual. Probably not, because some of the last ones I've released have been nearly half an hour long, and I'm not going to do that again. Oh look, it's the stats we've gotten. Now it's time to warp. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye!